Well, hey there, everybody. And boy, do we have an episode for you today of Loremasters of the Absurd. We're going to be talking about some dark mysteries and histories in Earth, but it's just fault that we got to here because, as they say, all roads lead to hell, and that's where it took us. Before we get into it, as always, your host, Loremaster Jeff, myself, Loremaster Eli. How you doing tonight, Jeff?
I was doing great before that intro. Jesus Christ.
Well, hey, I just wanted to make sure people understood the mess you got us into.
Not sure.
I'm blaming I'm blaming this on you because a movie came out. Mm-hmm. I wasn't even planning on watching it. And then you're like, "Hey, it's on Netflix. It's #1. It's doing pretty good. Maybe we should watch it." And I was like, "Shit." And I watched it, and I hate myself for doing it.
Wow.
Jeff, why did you force me to watch The Pope's Exorcist?
Hey, you know what? I figured that looked like a good time movie, and it was something that you enjoy, because I know your taste in movies is really good.
I don't know if I would count this as a horror movie, though.
I figured. I don't count it as a horror movie, honestly.
It barely counts as a movie.
You know what? I thought it was an absolute masterpiece of a movie.
I can't understand why it's #1 on Netflix right now, and it's like getting all these high reviews. Yeah. I don't understand.
So you know what, the mindset of watching that movie, you have to be in the right mindset to watch the movie. So if you're a traditional horror person, right, and right, you like the original Exorcist and that kind of stuff, this movie is not something you want to watch at all, because it has literally nothing to do with the original movie except for the word exorcist, right?
Oh, this wasn't even tied to the original Exorcist.
No, that's what I mean. Like, well, yeah. even at like,
it's loosely tied to exorcisms, I would say.
Yeah. You know what this reminded me of? Like a tabletop RPG adventure. There's zero setup. You just like, hey, this lady inherited an abbey from her husband for some reason. Go figure it out, right? Mm-hmm. And then you have, you know what's weird is like I don't know what this movie was trying to do, because what's his name? Russell Crowe is like this wisecracking.
He's exorcist. The head exorcist. Exorcist.
It's so weird. I don't know. I recommend everybody watch it. That's
Listen, I think you described it as like a tabletop adventure, but only the players are assholes. And the guy who put the head exorcist was like, well, he's going to be a priest that wears no pants, red socks. He rides everywhere on a fucking scooter with a bunch of Ferrari stickers, but it's not going to be a joke. They're never going to reference the Ferrari stickers. They're just going to be there.
Yeah, I want to get one of them scooters now. That thing's pretty...
Yeah, you do not.
Yeah, that thing's pretty awesome.
No, you know,
dude, man.
Well, but yeah, he could lift 2-ton rocks off of wells.
Yeah,
with a moped.
Sure.
He could drive from the Vatican clear to Spain on a moped.
On a moped.
Like, you have Russell Crowe, the head exorcist, goes to a place with a demon that has maybe one of the worst voices I've ever heard in my life. With like a dumb plot. It's like, when I was looking online after I watched this abomination, and I was like trying to do some research, like who the fuck came up with this and why? Do you know what all the reviewers are describing this movie as?
What's that?
The Exorcist meets the Da Vinci Code.
There you go. That's exactly how I would describe it.
I would not describe it at all. It's not, there's no mystery like Da Vinci Code. I just didn't know there was like 92 plot lines. None that made sense. And they would just drop them.
Nobody knows what's going on. That's the mystery. Like,
it was terrible. And so then we thought, well, since you forced us to watch it, I'm like, I need to wash my mind and my mouth out with this terrible thing, we thought we'd talk about some the real
Actual
world of
exorcist.
exorcism and kind of how all that worked, So that's what we're talking about tonight. And I once again I want to publicly shame you, Jeff, for making me watch the Pope's Exorcist because it was shit.
All those Netflix viewers can't be wrong.
That's all I gotta say. What accent was Russell Crowe trying to do?
I don't know.
He's supposed to be Italian.
I think I think it was Italian, right?
It sounded like he was from The Sopranos.
Yeah.
It's that's
how Italian people talk. What do you?
I was like, what the fuck is happening here? And his weird jokes that didn't make sense.
Gabagoo.
I know this demon.
You know what's funny is at the end. Did you like the ending, where it's like he died in 2016 or whatever? Did you read that last thing? What it said?
No.
It's like blah blah blah. Pope, he died. He worked up until 2016. The very last thing it said was he wrote a lot of books. They were good. That's what it said at the end. I was like, yes. Let
me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Do you think that whoever made this thought, man, I have a really good idea for an Exorcist movie,
yeah.
or do you think they thought, that's the way Russell Crowe making our paycheck?
I feel like this movie would have been better if they would have leaned into the absurdity just the whole way, because that's they were skirting that line. They were I get what they were trying to do, hey, this guy's like this, whatever, but they left too much of it it should have been like a Hellboy type of thing, you know what I mean,
right,
where he's but they just dropped the kind of drop the ball on it, what I mean?
Well, that's what's weird, because at first I thought that's kind of what they're going for, but then you could tell they were trying to be serious about the possession stuff, except for they used the worst voice I've ever heard in my life for someone being possessed. And then he's started cracking all these weird jokes that no one laughed at. And it wasn't one of those things where oh, his character is these jokes are bad and we laugh at them because they're bad. I didn't laugh at them because I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about?
Yeah, I didn't know they were even jokes.
Yeah.
I was I don't even know what's happening here.
I was like, what's happening? What the? And I'm like, why isn't he wearing pants? There's 19 scenes showing that he's not wearing pants, but his knee-high red socks.
Well, I mean,
every other priest is wearing pants in this movie, but him. And once again, they don't call it out or be like, "Oh, he's eccentric and he wears old school." It's just he's just not. He's always falling around with no pants on. I don't understand it.
He doesn't have any pants on, yeah. Oh,
rides a moped with no pants.
Well, I mean, you can't really expect to fight demons with pants on, can you? I mean, that's pretty restricting, right?
It's weird. I've never read a rule about that where they're like, hey, when you're fighting a demon, don't wear pants.
No, that's 100% the rule. Yeah. You can't. You can't wear pants.
So you're just supposed to Winnie the Pooh it when you're fighting demons.
Exactly.
Just Winnie the Pooh it. So does that mean Winnie the Pooh was an exorcist?
It's possible.
I would have enjoyed that Winnie the Pooh.
Christopher Robin and
gets possessed.
He gets possessed.
Oh my god,
Father.
Well, hey Jeff, what do you know about real exorcisms?
I know that they don't really do them too much anymore.
Oh no, actually they do them. Oh
really?
Oh my god. Let's let me blow your mind. Okay.
Let
me blow your mind. I don't know if you know this. Every religion has exorcisms. Just about.
Okay.
Now,
I don't know that.
But they're not all demons. Some are demons. Some are just you can get possessed by ghost. I think Shinto and Hinduism is just oh, you're possessed by ghost. Which seems like an asshole thing to do for a ghost.
It does.
Because if we remember the ghost rules, that's not one of the ghost rules.
That's true.
Some it's just you exercise people being greedy or in a bad mood or that you're annoyed. But there are a few religions that's actually demons. The most the famous three that exorcise demons, and there's a relation between these three, is Judaism, Islam faith, Muslim faith, and the Christian faith.
Okay.
Now, in movies and stuff, the most famous is Christian. Now, I have a feeling we're gonna have many episodes down the line here. We talk about some exorcism. So I thought since we watched the Pope's Exorcist, that way I can point out all the just the fucking nonsense. we'll look at it from a Christian angle. First exorcism in the Bible was famous story was Jesus, which this might make the beginning of the movie to you make sense. Okay. There's a story in the New Testament where Jesus, some guy was like, "I'm Legion, I'm demons, like whatever." And Jesus was like, "Okay, bro," and he casted the demons out of this dude into some pigs.
Yeah,
and then forced all the pigs to run off a cliff into the ocean to their death.
Yeah, they shot it in this movie.
They shot, but then he was like, "That guy wasn't really possessed. We just did it for show." Which I was like,
yeah, like funsies.
I was like, that's
like, what are you talking about?
I was like, what? Like, wait, what? Like, you knew it wasn't real, so you still shot that pig?
Yeah, like fuck that pig.
That family was probably like, well, that's our like dinner in the winter.
Yeah, yeah.
Now we can't eat it because you say there's demon in it.
Now we can't eat it.
Now we can't eat it. Thanks, guy. But so from that time, exorcisms were crazy. If you look at for a lot of human history, the biggest religion, Christian religion, was Catholicism, with the Vatican and stuff. The Vatican does have a head exorcist. They do have a department for like their exorcisms, and they do train people and have trained exorcists. There's a school like the priests go to learn how to do them and all this stuff. But they were kind of like they had their chain of command. They were real private with it. They kind of did their own thing, right? Until the 1920s, when exorcisms kind of blew up in a big way. Let me make sure I was right about the year. I think it was 1920. I think it was right before the war. Have you ever watched the movie The Exorcism of Emily Rose?
You know what? Ironically, I have not. I have it on Blu-ray. I just have never watched it.
So actually, I'm sorry, it wasn't the 20s. I'm sorry, it was in the 70s.
70s.
Was in Germany. This lady, the church decided this lady was possessed. These two priests had these exorcisms. Exorcisms can last for a couple hours. Sometimes they can last months.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of this exorcism, this lady, Annalise, in the movie The Exorcism of Emily Rose, based on, she died. The difference was this was the 70s, and when when they called the people in Germany, they're like, "Oh my God, our daughter died from demon possession." Well, it's the 70s, and so obviously you just can't bury people in your backyard.
Yeah,
and the authorities
you shouldn't. Yeah,
right. And the authorities were like, "I'm sorry, what did you say she died of? Why does she look like this?" Because she lost 100 pounds. Like she was
oh wow,
she was all emaciated and like she starved to death, and she was covered in bruises and all this stuff. They're like, "What is this?" And they're like, "Oh, she was exorcised. She had demons." And they're like, "Uh-huh." And then they start talking church. They end up pressing criminal charges against church.
Oh wow.
And there was a court case about it. And they played videos and things like that. So then when that happened, that's when the church got kind of like, "Oh, well, now we got to make sure that you're actually possessed." So that's when they make you go through all these doctors, psychologists, and all this stuff. Then they have to run it clear up the chain to get exorcism proof. It's a whole big. It is not big easy.
Deal. Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, in this movie, when he went there, it was like, "Oh, that boy." She was like, "Oh, he saw a doctor." He's like, "Good enough for me. We're gonna exorcise him." That is not how that's supposed to happen now.
Yeah, he didn't care at all. He's like, "Nope."
And so now they're a lot more tight when the Catholic Church comes to
sure. Yeah, they follow the more protocol.
They have been reporting that there are a lot that exorcisms are increasing. Really? And they went from in the early 2000s to there only being 15 ordained exorcists from the Catholic Church in the United States.
Yeah.
To as of 2020, there were such an increased cases of exorcisms there's now about 150 in just the US alone.
Wow. Since 2020? Or like what was
since around the 2000s there was 15. And then within 20 years they've had to add 150. And then there's an article I was reading that was in it was like a paper or no, I'm sorry, the Associated Press, where they are in the process of training and ordaining more exorcists, just the Catholic Church, because since the pandemic, and like all these, like when all those protests happen and like chaos, like the kind of start of chaos, are saying that there's now too many exorcisms for those 150 to keep up, and they're training more.
Jeez.
For the U.S. alone.
Oh, you're talking about the number of exorcists.
The number of exorcists. Yeah.
Not act like performed exorcists.
Right.
Okay. I was sorry. I was confused there. I thought you meant.
Well, I'm gonna look up, because now you say that, I'm gonna see how many exorcisms per year the Catholic Church. If they might not even release that number, I bet.
Well, yeah. I mean, I would assume probably not.
Let's see here. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, they're not. They're kind of tight-lipped about that number.
Sure. Which I mean makes sense, you know.
But they're also not the only like they're kind of like I would say like the prototype, like most famous, like because of the movie The Exorcist, stuff like that. You know, but they're not doing like the Methodist preachers, Baptist preachers. They all say they've been doing a lot of exorcisms too.
Oh, really? They're just like, well,
but like
us too.
Yeah, but it's basically, and I'm just like, when they say, I'm just like, are you?
Like, oh yeah. Are you really, or are you just saying that?
Are you? But the in this article, the AP Press, here in like 2017, apparently the church got so concerned with the number of exorcisms they're doing in the U.S. alone every year, that they tried to do a nationwide exorcism to cleanse the nation, but obviously that did not work.
Yeah, that's
But we're not the only country that they're seeing increase in. Like they're reporting increase in Europe, that they're having to train more. In Africa they're seeing increase. And like I said, the U.S. So we're not the only country. Like there's other countries who are, but like they're noticing there's a lot of them.
It's kind of weird. I kind of. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. I didn't realize that demon possession was such a
like
prevalent problem. Like,
like it's becoming like a bigger thing.
Yeah, like, I don't know anybody who's ever been demon possessed. So,
me neither. Me neither. But like they, like hey, they like I said, they haven't released the number of extra increase, but the fact that there's 150, because like that school. Like, because I've read, looked into stuff, because it's interesting, but like,
sure,
it's just not like anybody can be like, I'm going to exorcism school. Like, it's apparently very hard to get into. It's a very grueling program. Like in the U.S., if you're one of the U.S. people like sanctified to do it, it's not like they're just like, we'll send you a course here. They make you go to the Vatican. You have to train all that stuff. Like
does it require like additional like scholastic training?
A lot of them are either experienced with like psychology, social services, medical stuff, or if they're not, they have a team they have to get to be involved with that as well.
Yeah, with them that coordinates,
but
or whatever.
What I was reading, a lot of those priests that end up doing that, like that's not something that you're like an 18-year-old priest and you're like, here I go, like I'm going to exorcism school. Like that's really like a PhD level, like if you want to think of terms like that.
Yeah.
Now there are it's kind of crazy. I listened to this interview once for this guy who was a preacher for the Catholic Church, and he didn't go to exorcism school, but they had a program where they would train priests to help exorcist. And that's not as grueling, but I think it's just like you're not really in charge.
You're just that guy really, that stands there and like has to pray with him or whatever.
Yeah, basically. So like he like did that because like they were like sound. Apparently, he's like the church sound the alarm when as many people as possible because like it's happening all over the place.
I don't know. That seems peculiar. Like, do you think they're maybe piling on a little bit? Like, you know,
I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like, because like, what benefit do they get from that by like saying that stuff?
More tax break.
Mm. I mean, they're already tax exempt. How much more tax break do you get?
Zero.
Yeah, I mean, that much. They're already tax exempt. I don't know how much more tax break they can get. That's what I mean. Like, there's no like. It's not like if maybe they're like, oh, we could get rid of these, but we don't pay no taxes. But like, that's not a thing.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah, they don't really like fucking.
This is kind of a weird thing because like it's really like what and like honestly like in today's world I don't even think saying that would be like enough to like mass force people to like go back to church. Like it's just weird. Like they're like sounding the alarm with this, but like there's really no benefit to them.
Right, there's no logical
benefit to them like sounding unless they're just trying to sound cool or something.
I get, like, yeah,
but like I don't know though because like. Even once again, just looking at terms of Catholic Church, right? When the original Exorcist came out, they banned that movie. Like they're like, no Catholics should see this, or whatever. And then it took a couple years for them to be like, oh, this shines us some really good light, shows us fighting evil, and they're like, all right.
Yeah, I remember I remember reading about them. They just banned it. They're like, no, don't watch it because it makes the church look bad. It's like, well, no, it actually makes the church look good because they're fighting demons or whatever. Now this movie makes the church look really good. So.
Does it though? Because literally you like once again, you have the head exorcist who is handpicked by the Pope, but people underneath him are yelling at him and saying they're his superiors, even though he's appointed by the Pope. The chain of command of that movie did not make sense.
Yeah, that was weird too, right? Like he's like they call him into that council and he's like, we have to talk to my boss. It's like, okay, well, your boss is the Pope. Why are you even in here?
Like, right. And then like he's talking to Pope, and he's like, oh, they don't want me around anymore. And it's like, what do you mean? Like, isn't that kind of the Pope? Like, you're the Pope.
Like that's the thing at the church is being the Pope. Like, I don't, you know what I mean?
Right. And like, but like, it's fucking crazy. But Jeff, in case you ever run into it, do you know what the signs are of demon possession? Because I found a couple lists.
I think probably bad acting.
You mean, are you using this movie as your basis?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You kind of have a weird British but not British accent.
Yeah, it's weird. And you're literally saying them right in order.
Yeah. Trying to think what else. You have to have a very flimsy backstory.
You mean like you watch your dad get impaled in the head by a pole and then not speaking for a year?
Yeah. Like why? I still can't figure out why their dad owned an abbey. Like what?
He wasn't a priest. Like, or the fact that like the church knew this was a site that a demon fell, and they're just like, oh, we're gonna close down to sell some.
Yeah. Or like those constructions workers, they hit a little pocket of gas, and they're like, "Nope, we can't do anything else."
It's like it's weird. It like blows up and lights like the whole hallway on fire, but like not the building. So if there's that much gas, that it would blow up and light people on fire, but not like blow up this old.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense actually.
Well, here's some ones that now I must say this: a lot of these are on religious websites. Because obviously there's not like a medical college official, like
yeah.
But I figure I'd read a couple of Dave.
Okay.
One of them is if someone starts showing an irrational, uncontrollable aversion to sacred things and places such as Bibles, crosses, churches, hymns, and prayer.
Okay.
The ability to speak languages completely unknown to them, which also include dead language such as Latin, Koine Greek, and Akkadian.
That's kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
Are they implying that like demons are nerds? Is that,
I mean, or that they only speak old languages, like,
maybe.
Also, knowledge of things unknown that would be unknown to them about people, places, and things. But I feel like with the internet, that's really hard to tell if they'd have that unknown or not.
Yeah. Like the demons just have Google and Google Translate.
Like, wait, you think they just like keep it on the side?
Yeah. He's just like types in what he wants to say in Google Translate, and then it just comes back like that.
Okay, fair enough. Another one is if you're possessed, you cannot control yourself because you're under control of a demon.
Well, now what does that mean? Cannot control yourself. Like that's a pretty broad.
According to them, the two examples they give is that the person could not speak themselves until the demon. This is like the story they stories they got from the Bible, I guess. Was that demons could not in the like that guy that Jesus exorcised. He actually could not speak himself. It was the demon speaking until they cast the demon out.
Okay.
Another one is like it makes you say shitty stuff that you may not say otherwise.
Wow, that seems like a get out of jail free card, right?
A little bit.
Like, well, you just like tell your wife, like, you fucking bitch, and then you're like, well, I was possessed by a demon.
You're like, hey, Jeff, take the trash out. You take the fucking trash out.
Fuck you. You take it, and then you're like, whoa, demon possession. Lateralis un pluribly. Like, fucking.
What language was that? I was like, I don't know. I don't think it's real.
I don't know, but it's so ancient you don't even know.
So. Another one is you have a new personality. So your personality is not like what your real personality is.
A lot of these sounds like bipolar disorder or something. You know what I mean? Like,
well, not this one. A different voice. Sometimes those who are possessed either speak in a different voice or they speak with what sounds like multiple voices.
Yeah. I think those may be symptoms of COVID, actually. Everything you just listed.
It's weird. It all sounds like regular disease.
Yeah, like
okay. All right. Well, hey, let's see you try to fight this one, okay?
Okay.
Supernatural knowledge.
What does that mean?
Well, the example they give here, if I'm being honest, is not great.
Okay.
They're like, for one thing, you'll know if someone's possessed if they immediately recognize Jesus as the Messiah, or they have a supernatural understanding of Jesus, which I don't quite understand.
What does that mean? Yeah, that seems like
there's not an example for that second one, so I don't really know. Like how would you know that that's actually supernatural like knowledge? Is like if you're like, oh, like when Jesus is covered in like a blue aura, like a super Saiyan. I'm like, well, how do I
know that? Like, what do you? Be like, well, Jesus could fly. You're like, okay, well, what are you talking about? Like, that's weird. That's a weird one.
Yeah, that's a weird. Here's this one. New abilities. Someone who's possessed can have new abilities. Like, for example, superhuman strength. Either by like breaking restraints, things like that. Also, they hurting yourself because bruising, which I don't know if that's a new ability. I mean, anybody could like hurt themselves.
Yeah, well, how's that an ability, quote unquote?
I don't know. And you know what the last sign is?
What's that?
Which I don't. Suicidal tendencies. If you're possessed, you become suicidal, which doesn't make sense because you're being controlled by demons. So then technically, wouldn't that be murder?
Trying to kill you? Yeah. What? Remember that band, Suicidal Tendencies?
Oh yeah, man. Well, I haven't heard them in a long time.
I don't. Yeah, this whole thing seems a little flimsy at best.
It's just it's it's like it's crazy because like if you look and there's all this other stuff, right?
Yeah.
But then like and then at the same time the church is like we're hiring all these new exorcists and all this stuff. And it's like, what do you do? I mean, then like I said, I mean, have you ever heard of the tapes of the Annalise possession?
Mm-mm.
So
No.
there's tapes of her speaking during the exorcism.
Yeah.
You can listen to one YouTube. They're potentially one of the most terrifying audio clips I've heard in my life.
Really?
Yeah, they're pretty like when you listen to them, it's hard. Like it's in my mind because like some of the stuff, the way she's talking and saying,
Yeah.
like it's kind of crazy. Like just to think like why someone would just do that.
Yeah, just randomly like say the shit that she's saying or whatever.
Yeah.
That is kind of weird.
Yeah. Like it's like it's if you're ever feeling Randy one day, look this up on YouTube. It'll make you feel different about stuff. Um it's weird. Like another sign, which this one is the person will already know they have a demon inside them.
So they like willingly possessed or whatever.
Like they know that they're possessed. Um,
Well, that's what I mean. Are they like saying? Are they willingly, or they're just?
well, no, like they. But even if you're not willing, like when you're possessed, you know you're possessed.
Okay.
Also, you have uncontrollable behaviors. Basically like tics. They describe it.
Yeah.
You know, this one website, it's a little oh weird. Unexplained illnesses, uh like sore like odd sores and lesions and such.
Yeah.
Unexplained paranormal activity. If your house appears all of a sudden to be haunted, hearing noises, seeing apparitions, items moving. I also found this other list of if say you don't some manifestations. Say you're not sure. They there are some common manifestations to let you know a demon is trying to possess you, and I don't think they are what you think they will be.
Okay.
Do you know what some of the common manifestations of a demon possession is? Sneezing,
Oh well. Okay.
coughing,
Okay.
yawning,
What the fuck?
shaking.
Yawning?
Yep, yawning. Shaking, convulsing, contorting, not being able to make eye contact. Eyes go back and forth, gagging, choking, or vomiting, laughing mockingly,
Oh, this whole
lightheadedness,
situation's a little.
heart palpitations, and finally, burping.
Yeah, there ain't nothing in that list that would lead me to think somebody was demon possessed.
I just think you're like getting pneumonia or something.
Yeah. See my previous statement about COVID symptoms. Like,
oh my
that's
god,
really weird.
hey, it's crazy. Like it's I. Hey, listen. Once again, though, right? There's all that, but yet the church is paying for a bunch of exorcists.
Well,
And then like you do have these like weird, weird instances of, like I said, that Annalise in the 70s in Germany's, and like it's crazy the noise she makes. Like I'll have to play for you one day. Like,
yeah,
it's crazy. And then like you have the boy in the US who the actual movie The Exorcist was based on.
right. Yeah,
Like
yeah,
that
yeah.
case. And like he ended up in the hospital and like they're apparently like some of the nurses witnessed him like doing
Doing
crazy
the weird
stuff.
stuff. Like, yeah,
There's also we talked about the movie when we were talking about movies, Demon House. that one kid was possessed, and like the nurses watched him walk up a wall apparently, and like that was documented in, like government forms and stuff.
Yeah, they were like what, social workers or whatever, right? Yeah, that is a little weird. I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
I'm just saying, like it's weird, but there's also some weird stuff happening.
Yeah. Huh.
I'm just saying. I mean, what are you gonna do to protect yourself?
I'll probably not get possessed by a demon. I think it should do it.
Yeah, but like, how are you gonna do that?
Just get an old priest and a young priest.
That's you can't. That's not even like.
That's what they do in every movie, right?
Well,
I'm gonna drink whiskey.
I guess they did in the Pope
Yeah, I'm gonna drink whiskey and make wisecracks
and drive around on your moped.
Get a moped. Maybe that's what the real thing is. That moped.
You think that moped he possesses people because he drives a moped?
No, it keeps him from getting possessed. Like that's. I'm just gonna
too lame.
I'm gonna not move into old abbeys that a member of my family died and just left me mysteriously.
That's kind of weird. I like. Why would you like? Why like? Would you ever buy a church?
No.
Are you like? What would you do with it?
Yeah, nothing.
Like you're not gonna live it. Like you don't really want to live in it, right?
Yeah, for sure. There's like literally no reason to buy that church.
And then like his wife was like, "We don't have money, but we're gonna fix this up so we can sell it." And I want to be like, one, where are you getting the money? If you literally don't have money, then how are you paying to fix it? And two, who's gonna buy it?
Yeah, but why would anybody buy that off of you? Like that doesn't that literally makes no sense. Why?
Like what? Like hey, do you want to buy my church in Spain? No. Like what would I do there?
Yeah, like are you sure? It's really cool.
Like it doesn't really and like it's weird, like it doesn't have grid electric. It's made out of drafty stones.
It's old as shit for some reason.
Old.
What do you mean? How much do you think he paid for that? Like he sank their entire life savings into this church
without telling them?
That's irresponsible.
It is irresponsible. I mean,
and what was he doing with his life that he didn't have any life insurance, but he could buy a church? You know what I mean? Like
maybe he like he was like, oh, this is an investment because
he never said like he was associated with the church or anything.
No. Well,
that would have made more sense.
Well, he couldn't be a priest because he was married,
Yeah, yeah. What if he like left the church to get married? Like literally any reason to tie it back to that would have been better than just because. So
hey, listen, all I know is when we watched that movie, I don't remember seeing anybody sneeze, cough, contort, have tics.
It's true.
Burp.
Yep.
Or
yes, I mean, I feel like really something else is going on in this movie.
Oh, let me. Okay, what? Let's stop for a second, right? Let's say there is an actual real head exorcist, the Pope's exorcist, the real one.
Okay, yeah, the actual real one,
the actual real head of exorcisms. And if that guy's telling you like, hey, I can show you some stuff.
Yeah.
Now I know you won't believe Kurt Russell, but would you believe the real one?
I'd actually believe Kurt Russell over.
You would believe Kurt Russell?
Russell Crowe, you mean?
Or not Kurt Russell, Russell Crowe?
I believe Kurt Russell pretty much anything. To be honest with you.
But would you I mean, see, maybe they should have made Kurt Russell
he would have been he'd have been much better.
He probably wore pants.
And not like just any Kurt Russell, like Big Trouble in Little China Kurt Russell.
Okay.
Jack,
okay.
What was his name? Jack. Yeah.
You wouldn't want him to be old. You wouldn't want him to be old priest. Like I'm thinking like Hateful Eight, Kurt Russell.
Yeah, maybe.
With the same beard and big mustache.
Yeah.
Because I can see him just slapping people. That's how he's getting demons out. Just slapping people. Yeah. Well, that's like, you ever see that? Like, there's like some of the southern churches, like they use snakes and stuff, and like they'll like throw snakes on people and have them like roll all around the church floor and like slap them and spit on them and stuff to get the demons out.
No.
You ever saw videos of that?
No.
Yeah, it's the same. Like, I mean, there's like those TV. I don't even remember. Like, especially when they were real big in like the 80s and 90s. There's a TV televangelists like Benny Hinn and stuff, and like they would do exorcisms on stage, but really just
oh
like
yeah,
smacking people on the top of the head.
Yeah.
It's like crazy.
The demon.
It's just like whack, whack. Like people like convulse and they're like, "Oh, look at that! The demon's leaving." I'm like, or they have a concussion because like that dude just whacked him.
Straight up need to go to the hospital now.
But if you listen like the real experts, they say exorcism is no joke. A lot of people actually died during exorcisms. You know, I mean, maybe they did die during like the televangelists. Like it's like technically, you never saw them get up.
That's true. They're just like laying there.
Yeah,
they drove out. Is that the same place where they like play with snakes and all that stuff too?
I know some churches do that. Like I don't think I ever saw any televangelists on TV do it.
Yeah,
people, because I think some people, because a lot of times people are like playing with snakes, bro. That's evil.
Yeah, like what are you doing here, fella? Snakes are the devil.
What if it bites you? Which I've also seen YouTube videos. If you ever want to go down a funny rabbit hole, there are YouTube videos of those people like swinging their snakes around during the service, and then the snakes get mad and like bite them.
Yeah, I've seen that happen a time or two.
And then they don't want to use those snakes in their service anymore.
Yeah, it's like, well, I thought you were all about these snakes, bro. You know? What are you doing here now? Like,
hey, they're just here for a good time. Yeah, and to watch out for people yawning. Wait, did you just yawn?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't want to say anything, but I caught a demon or whatever.
You caught it? You make it sound like it's an STD.
Well, isn't that how you get a demon possession?
You know what's weird?
Unprotected sex with a demon.
With a demon?
Yeah. That's how you get possessed.
I like, you know what's weird is like a lot of them says like the signs and like, but they don't really like the way, like really it's not like a way you get possessed. Well, they say if you play with Ouija boards here, that's one way you could get possessed.
Mm-hmm. But I thought that was a ghost, not a demon.
Well, no, they say Ouija boards, like that's the problem with Ouija boards is like sometimes you think you could be reaching out to a ghost, but you're actually talking to a demon.
I never made that. So I always thought Ouija boards were just ghosts. Like,
no, that's an occult thing. Like where like that's why like the Ouija boards are real dangerous, and you have to be real careful. Like if you like who you talk to on a Ouija board, and then like making sure you end the conversation on a Ouija board. You don't want to leave that open because that could leave a door open.
I don't know anything about Ouija boards.
Listen, I'm not superstitious.
Yeah.
I am a little stitious in terms of like a lot of, like if you press me a lot of stuff, how do I feel about it? It's fun to talk about. But then you're like, hey, you want to sit down here and play with the Ouija board? I'm like, it's time for me to go home.
Have you played with a Ouija board before?
I have never done it. And I never will.
Yeah, I haven't either. I haven't really been. That's never come into my purview of things to do.
When I was in high school, we were at a friend's that lived like near my grandma, and like we were all hanging out there, and like they're like whipping out like, oh, we're gonna, because like there was an old country cemetery, like old, like no one had been buried there since like the 1800s.
Oh wow!
It was like up in there like cow field. And they're like, "Oh, we're gonna try it." And I'm like, "I'm gonna go to my grandma's." And they're like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm leaving. Goodbye." Back up, and I walked to my grandma's. I was like, I shut up. She's like, "What are you doing here?" I'm like, "They were playing with the Ouija board." And I was like, This did not
want to deal with that. Yeah,
didn't want to be part, because it's like weird because like once again, I think I don't know if it's my country upbringing or not, but like there was like this weird area where I grew up. They called it Hell's Half Acre. And like they said there was a demon in those woods, and like they were the creepiest fucking woods. Yeah. And they always said people go in there, they get mean, they get possessed. And I like that.
I like how the demon only gets a half acre.
Well, I mean,
or the devil only gets a half acre. Yeah, it's like he's not doing well.
Well, why would he need? But like, realistically, like, why would he need more? Like, he's not gonna be farming or anything.
Well, he's the devil. He's the guy, right? You know what I mean? Like, you think he'd have more than just a half acre?
Yeah, but he doesn't want to be greedy.
Oh, I guess. I mean, that's
Listen,
well,
I didn't make it up, man. All I know is there was like this old abandoned house there, and there was like a hearse driven through the side of it because they used to be a haunted house or something. It was creepy. Like they used to say that there was like a clown, like back in the day, a circus used to set in the field below it, and this clown murdered girls because it was like possessed or something, and like they killed that guy there and stuff, and his possessed spirit was still in them woods. Like it was all kind of effed up. And then my grandma's house, and like it was weird because like her house was supposed to be haunted, and like sometimes you'd hear like walking sounds at night. Was it probably her getting up and pee 100 times? Probably, but I was like, I think it's this demon because like her house wasn't too far from it.
Yeah,
and you say like they used to call the demon Billy, and I'm like, that doesn't make sense. That's kind of fucked up.
Billy.
Billy. Yeah, so I wouldn't do it. Like I'm not. I also like I wouldn't talk. Like I won't talk. Like once again, probably BS. Not superstitious. A little stitious. Like I wouldn't talk. Like I wouldn't let someone read my tarot cards. Like talk to a psychic or anything.
Oh, really?
Right?
I've talked to psychics before.
Really?
Yeah.
Were they right or wrong?
They were incorrect about literally everything they said.
I listen. Honestly, like in my mind, 99.9% of them just bullshit. There's always that chance you go to one that he's got like a weird Ouija board in his pocket, and he's like Ouijing it up to get answers and stuff. And that's what part of it. Because here's my thought.
I think it wasn't a Ouija board type psychic.
Well, no, but just saying. Like even like tarot cards, like those are kind of like Ouija boards. They're supposed to like reach the spirit realm or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, is it real? Probably not. But on the other hand, if you look at my mind, right, we also used to not think aliens were real, and look what's happening in the world today.
It's true. There's aliens everywhere.
Well, the government's talking about UFOs and alien stuff. Mm-hmm. So, like, is it that far of a stretch to think maybe, just maybe, some of this occult stuff might be real?
It's not that far of a stretch.
You know what I mean? Yep. But like,
I think it all comes down to different planes of existence, or dimensions, rather than we just don't understand what they are yet. So it's just like magic is basically technology. You know what I mean? Like that's
right. Well, that's like it's like. Have you ever heard that like people like that do that ayahuasca and whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Well, like the one common thing between a lot of them is they talk about all seeing the same interdimensional beings, or like these like this other these gateways, or sometimes like these beings from which is like crazy. Like all these people all kind of like the same thing. But then again, is it because like one person heard about it and it spread and like that's all they go in thinking, or is it something else?
Is there actual substance to it?
Right.
So I don't know. I've never done that ayahuasca.
Me neither.
Might be interesting.
But I'm just saying, on that thought process, should you be careful around people sneezing?
Probably. That's just
possessed.
That's just a good habit to get into. Like,
or they're sick. But apparently, if you're sick, it's also a sign of you being possessed. And like I said, but no, to your point though, or to earlier, but like, so like Ouija board and stuff like that, you play through, you get possessed. If you go around possessed places, you get possessed. But then the third one is just like if you had trauma in your life, you could become possessed, which is like that was kind of fucked up. You're like, I didn't do anything. I had a bad day one day, and
now all of a sudden
I got demon diarrhea.
Thanks a lot, Thanks a lot, devil.
Oh man. Well, let me ask this, Jeff, as we wrap up here. Let me ask this.
Yeah.
Tomorrow you find out either aliens are real and they're coming here, or you find out like ghosts, demons, possession, all that's real. Which one you prefer to be real?
Aliens, 100%.
Yeah, but like they could have like laser guns and shit.
Yeah, but I still think that like as long as it's a physical presence, like because I would say that if it's like demons and that kind of stuff, we're not equipped with the type of we're nowhere near equipped to combat that. You know what I mean? Because then you're talking about like more like psychic and like that kind of stuff. Where aliens, I mean, even if they have laser guns and stuff, at least they're still in a physical plane, and we can kind of correlate with what they got going on. But like demons, like there's what are you gonna do? Like you're just like, okay, well, hey demon, thanks for showing up or whatever.
So, I mean, that's true. That's true. That's true. And if you think about though, if it's aliens, you might get a chance to ride their
that's spaceship. True. Yeah.
You know why?
They could just come sail away and just fly down, and
but I'm being honest, I don't think you're being honest about something.
What's that?
In terms of the demon ghost stuff? I just think you don't want that one to be real because you refuse to respect and learn the ghost and demon rules.
Are ghost and demon rules the same?
I mean, they have similarities, right? Like obviously, demons just know how to open doors. Where like ghost, it takes some time. Like a girl ghost, a little girl ghost, for example, wouldn't be able to open a door right away.
I'm not gonna get into that because I just think ghosts are dumb. Just in general, they're just idiots. So
all ghosts.
All ghosts. It's like we get it. You're dead. Just leave us alone. Like just go. You know what I mean? Like,
well, sometimes people are going into their place. They don't want anything. They don't want people coming in there. People are coming.
Ain't nobody going to no ghost land.
Have you ever watched? What are you talking? Our boy Zach Baggins literally goes into ghost land week after week, and then yells and tries to fight ghosts.
No. Yeah, that's not what I'm saying. Like we're still in our physical location. We're not going to like their ghost house in the ghost land, like just barging in. They're still invading our territory because they're dead and they need to go. But they're still hanging on because they're like a psychotic ex-girlfriend and got to hang out some more just to see if,
for example,
see what happens.
Well, no, let me ask this, right? You have a house, you have a mortgage, you spend all these years paying on it. Just because you die, you want to give that up? You don't think that you still have a claim on that land?
Move on.
You wasted all that money. You don't think you should get claim on that land?
You didn't get nothing. No, you're dead.
Wow.
You need to go. You need to.
Wow. You're not gonna you're not gonna hang out at all. When you die,
quit being a scumbag and pushing videotapes around and just get out. Listen,
she was just trying to give a message to the boy. See right here, you don't understand the ghost rules. You know what? It's probably better if ghosts aren't real because if you became a ghost, you would fail miserably because you like. Do you remember the ghost rules? You'd be like, nope, because I was too busy being judgmental and victim shaming.
I'd push videotapes everywhere. I just push them all over the place. I'd go to Blockbuster and just push stuff down off the shelf.
Is it like a certain type of tape? Would you trick people into watching a certain type of tape?
Yeah, I'd push John Carpenter's vampires into everybody's shopping cart.
They're like, why am I watching this?
The deluxe edition I put in there.
Oh my god! Hey, listen, don't you dare, okay? That deluxe edition is nice.
Yeah, well, you're one of the 7 people on the planet that have it. So.
Yeah, and who bought it for me?
I did. Because I'm a nice guy.
You did. You are.
Merry Christmas.
Oh man. Well, hey, like I said, it's definitely not gonna be the last time we'll go to X. I figure we do like kind of a talk about it in general, and then next time it comes up, we feel like it, and we'll talk about some specific stories.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll play some of the audio and just scare the bejeebus out of you.
Mm-hmm.
It's loud. Like I'm gonna have to have you listen to it. Like it's
that's good. That's just kind of creepy, right? Like,
hey, here's what we're gonna do. All right, everybody. I want you to pause right here, or not pause right now, but like go to YouTube, look up Annalise exorcism tapes. All right, and then when I count 3, you're gonna pause, listen to a couple seconds, and then come back. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Pause. Oh, hey, welcome back. Are you terrified? It's terrifying, right? It's a weird like it's terrifying. Why does it sound like they're in a wind tunnel with demons and animals? I don't get it. Crazy.
I feel like you're just being irresponsible now.
How am I being irresponsible? Making people listen to
it? Trying to scare our audience.
Maybe they should be scared. They're increasing the number of exorcists every day. It seems like we're probably over 200 now. Because you think about it, at 2020 we were at 50, and they knew they were increasing training now. So I mean, we might be up to like 200 in the U.S. alone.
At least I feel safer knowing that they got more exorcists. Don't you?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I guess I would want to see like track record numbers, like how many times you've been successful.
Well, we're not gonna talk about that. So.
Because like I feel like if they're like, well, we're successful 1 out of 100 times, I'd be like, I don't really feel that much better about the situation.
Do you think like that's why they have to keep training more because they keep fucking up? Like, you know what I mean?
They're like, oh man, you got another one. Nah, all right. No.
Yeah.
Back to Exorcist night school.
Yep. They got to keep send them in for retraining.
Oh my god. Well, hey, everybody. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed that, make sure you follow, like, and subscribe wherever you listen to your podcast. Uh, Leave us a review, 5 stars. 5-star review. Because think about it, I'm coming to you now, telling you that if you're ever on the bus and you see people yawning, coughing, sneezing, looking lightheaded or irritable, you need to take a couple steps back. Probably getting possessed by a demon at that moment. We're here saving your life. That deserves 5 stars. You can also watch episodes on YouTube. Like and follow, subscribe, list us there. You can watch our faces in real time. Jeff, like, see the disappointment in Jeff's eyes every time I bring up the ghost rules. Because he is disappointed himself that he won't take time to learn them.
I do hate the ghost rules
because he hates that he won't take time to learn them. You can also follow us on Instagram and Facebook. You can follow me on Instagram, Loremaster Eli. You can follow Jeff on Instagram, Loremaster Jeff. Pretty easy to remember. We're on our way to October, so we got some other spooky kind of mysteries and things and some fun stuff planned. So be ready for that. And remember, everybody. Wait, did you say you hate the ghost rules? Is that what you said?
I did. I said they're awful.
My God,
and the worst. Yep.
I'm just saying, one of these days, Jeff, you're gonna be seeing praises of my name that you know them. One of these days.
Are you implying that somehow the ghost rules may save my life one day?
I am 100% implying that, yes.
In case there's ever a videotape that I need to watch.
Yeah. Or, for example, like, you could potentially, like, for a short period of time be in the ghost world. You're like, man, how am I supposed to handle this stuff? You're like, ghost rules.
Nobody goes to the ghost world.
I'll be sitting here. But I mean, like, say like you get in an accident, right, and you die for a couple minutes, and like you're like, let's say for example, let's say you're cleaning your gutters out, right?
Okay.
You fall off the ladder, hit your head, you die temporarily, right? So then you're a come up ghost. You remember ghost rules, like, oh, I can't open doors, but I can push stuff. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna run over to my house, and you're gonna see me like stand in my yard, push a videotape. I'm gonna go, what? Why is there a videotape out here? Go to my house, play it. Then I just see a video of you falling off your roof. I'm like, oh my God, I need to go save Jeff. I go and save you.
Well, I feel like if I'm gonna spend the time to learn to push things, I'm just gonna get good enough so I can just push you off the roof as well.
Wait, so we both die?
Yeah. It's like
well, you know what's gonna be sad though? When I die, I'm gonna know all ghost rules, so I'm like, oh, this will be easy to navigate.
But I'll already have a head start on you, so I'll be way better at it than you.
You won't, because you won't know the ghost.
Yeah, no, I'm already. I'll be living the ghost rules. So, and guess what? Spoiler alert: they're completely different than what you said. So,
not true. Hey, anything else you want to tell the fine folks, Jeff?
No, nope.
All right. Well, hey, you are here. We'll catch you next time, everybody. Remember, learn your ghost rules, because one day Eli might save your life. Bye.